Imagine you're scrolling late at night, tired, almost ready to sleep, and then you see this. Can you read this letter? It's very important, a letter so powerful, so unexpected, that it changed the life of one of the world's most powerful billionaire CEOs forever. Before I share this story with you, let me tell you, if you're new here, hit that like button and subscribe. Because what you're about to hear is more than a story. It's a journey of heartbreak, redemption, and the reminder that sometimes the smallest words can change the biggest lives. The man at the center of this story was Adrian Cole. Known everywhere as a ruthless billionaire, a technology genius, and a man who had everything, yachts, jets, skyscrapers, and armies of employees who carried out his every command. But behind that iron face was someone who had forgotten something very important: humanity. Adrian worked 20 hours a day, slept only when exhausted, and believed emotions were weaknesses. To him, family was a distraction, friendship was a liability, and kindness was unnecessary in a world where only the strong survived. His employees feared him. Board members admired his sharpness but whispered about his cold heart. The media painted him as a machine. And Adrian liked it that way. Or at least, he told himself he did. One gray winter morning, Adrian's assistant entered his office nervously with a small, crumpled envelope. It was handwritten, rare in a world where everything was email, text, or digital signature. She hesitated before placing it on his desk. "Sir, someone left this at the reception. They insisted it was important." Adrian raised an eyebrow. Important? To him, only billion-dollar deals were important. He almost threw it into the trash. But something about the shaky handwriting on the front caught his attention. His name. Just his name. No title, no Mr. Cole, no CEO. Just Adrian. With an annoyed sigh, he tore it open. Inside, one sheet of paper. Faded ink. And words that would pierce deeper than anything in his life had ever done. "Dear Adrian, can you read this letter? It's very important. Because these are words I could never say to you in person. I don't know if you even remember me anymore. I'm your mother. The same woman who once stayed up nights sewing your clothes, who skipped meals so you could eat, who cheered for you when nobody else believed. The same woman you cut out of your life the day you decided money mattered more than family. I don't want your fortune. I don't want your company. I just want to know if my son is still in there, beneath the suits and skyscrapers. Before it's too late." Adrian froze. His mother? He hadn't spoken to her in 15 years. Not since the day he stormed out of their tiny apartment, vowing never to look back. Back then, he was tired of poverty, of hand-me-downs, of being embarrassed at school. He had promised himself he'd be rich, powerful, unstoppable. And he had done it. But in doing so, he had burned every bridge, including the one to the woman who gave him everything she had. The words blurred on the page as something unfamiliar stung his eyes. Adrian Cole, the man the world thought unshakable, was fighting tears. He pressed the paper against his chest, but pride screamed louder. What if this was manipulation? What if she wanted something? That night, Adrian went home, sat in his penthouse surrounded by marble and glass, yet felt emptier than he had in years. He opened the letter again. His mother's handwriting trembled across the paper, each word heavy with love and pain. He remembered her voice, soft and encouraging. He remembered the night she walked miles in the rain just to bring him medicine when he was sick. He remembered, and the weight of guilt crushed him. Days passed. Adrian carried the letter everywhere, even into meetings, hidden in his pocket like a burning secret. Finally, he asked his assistant to track her down. It wasn't easy, she had moved, no bank accounts, no trace. She lived quietly in a small town, in a modest house that leaned with age. When Adrian arrived in his chauffeured car, children playing on the street stared wide-eyed. He stepped out in his $1,000 suit, clutching the letter like a lifeline. And then he saw her. Older, frilier, but her eyes, those same warm eyes, lit up the second they met his. She dropped the laundry she was holding. "Adrian," she whispered. For the first time in decades, Adrian Cole couldn't speak. He fell to his knees before her, tears streaming down his face, the mighty billionaire crumbling like a child. "Mom. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry." She knelt too, pulling him into her arms as if he were still her little boy. "I never wanted your money," she said through her own tears. "I just wanted my son back." That night, Adrian didn't sleep in a penthouse. He stayed in her tiny house, ate the simple soup she made, and listened as she told stories of his childhood he thought he'd forgotten. For the first time in decades, he felt human again. Word spread quickly. The media tried to spin it, investors worried it would weaken his image, but Adrian didn't care. From that day forward, he changed how he led his company. He introduced mental health programs for his employees, gave them more family time, and treated them not as machines, but as people. He started foundations for struggling single parents, remembering the years his mother had carried the weight of the world alone. And when asked what inspired the change, he only smiled and said, "A letter. Just one letter." And so, the ruthless billionaire became something greater, a leader with a heart.